Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Callie and I love to read books. I apologize for my voice. I have been under the weather since spring has come about and all the pollen has started coming out of the trees and whatnot. I don't know if this is sinuses or I don't know, maybe it's just a cold, but excuse my voice. Today, we are going to be going over our May TBR, and normally I would do a TBR jar. However, last month, I think I barely read anything that I physically put on my TBR because I read Dungeon Crawler Carl or I listened to it. I went down a freaking rabbit hole. It ruined my entire TBR for me. It was so phenomenally done. Jeff Hayes is the narrator, and he just hit it right out of the ballpark. So I binged 3 of those books on audio, and because I listened to my audio on 1 time speed, it takes me quite a while to finish those books. I read a lot faster than I can listen. I cannot comprehend an audio if it is faster than 1 time speed. So I barely read any of those. I will get to that in my reading wrap up probably next week. However, I have decided I am going to mood read my way through May. So let's go through the options that I've chosen for this month. Anxious People by Frederick Bachman is actually a book I recently acquired from a Barnes and Noble sale that they had going on. And this will be my first book by him. I also have the Beartown series. And I don't know what about this book made me want to pick it up before Beartown. Maybe because it's not such a commitment by just reading the one book. I have heard phenomenal things about every single one of his books. If you don't know anything about this one, it says, looking at real estate isn't usually a life or death situation, but an apartment open house becomes just that when a failed bank robber bursts in and takes a group of 8 strangers hostage. Each of them carries a lifetime of grievances, hurts, secrets, and passions that are ready to boil over. None of them is entirely who they appear to be. In short, they are the worst group of hostages in the world. But as the minutes tick by and they begin to suspect that the criminal mastermind holding them hostage might be more in need of rescuing than they are. It just sounds so good. So that'll be one of the first books on our TBR. Direbound by Sable Sorensen is going to be the next one. And this one, yes, I have been influenced. I've seen it all over TikTok. I've not heard one bad thing about it. And look, this is a chonker, okay? This is a big one. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to read the back of this book because I want to go in as blind as possible. The only thing I could tell you about it is like Fourth Wing, but make the dragons dire wolves. And when I say I love dragons, I love dragons. But give me a bonded dire wolf. I'm a Game of Thrones girly. George R. Martin had me sold way back when I was a child with dire wolves. And this is going to bring it back for me. At least that's what I think. I cannot wait to read this book. Another book I've been seeing all over Book Talk that I have been like fiending to read, but it just hasn't fit in with any of my prompts or like I'd committed myself to other books. This is the Bloodwing Academy series by Briar Bolin. The first book is On Wings of Blood. The first 2 books are out, and I think the 3rd book is coming out, I want to say later this year, but I could totally be wrong. Another book I really don't want to read much of the synopsis for because I really just want to experience it. And I think that's my favorite thing about not knowing too much of the books that I'm about to read. There's some books I love to know, but stuff like this, I don't want to be spoiled. It just says at Bloodwing Academy, blood is power and love is a dangerous game. And then it says, I didn't sign up for this, which makes me want to read it even more. I believe there's vampires in it. It's obviously, like we just said, at an academy setting. Sounds amazing. If I like the first book, I'll be jumping right into the second one. Because I did hear that these leave off on the Cliffies. And then there's my book of the month pick. This is The Man Made of Smoke by Alex North. Yes, Alex North. I believe this comes out May 13th, but with Book of the Month, they sent it early, and this is like a thriller. I want to say a psychological thriller. It says the latest gripping serial killer thriller from the best-selling author Alex North. I have not read any of his books yet, but I'm excited to. It says Dan Garvey's life has been haunted by the crime he witnessed as a child, narrowly escaping an encounter with a notorious serial killer. He has dedicated his life since to profiling criminals, eager to seek justice for innocent victims. So when his father dies under suspicious circumstances, Dan revisits the small island community where he grew up, determined to uncover the truth about his death. Is it possible that the monster he remembers from his childhood nightmares has returned after all these years? Maybe. We are going to find out. Book of the month has been my favorite way. This is not sponsored, by the way. Not in any shape or form. I order my book of the month. I pay for my subscription. But it has been the perfect way to stick to my one New Year's resolution that I've been able to stick to. My book buying ban, that's been long gone. We didn't stick to that. However, Book of the Month has introduced me to so many new authors as well as different genres that I would never buy, ever. I love it so much, and I'm excited to start this book. I was sent a copy of A Sea of Echoes by Misty D. Waters, and ever since I received it, I have just been like chomping at the bit to get to it. It says not even death can stop their destiny. I'm not going to read the full back. The lovers will reawaken, the true heir will be revealed, fate won't be undone. And it's about pirates. We're on the open seas. I don't know what it is. Lately, there has been quite a few authors putting out pirate books. I didn't know pirates were a thing I needed in my life. I didn't know it, but I do. I am obsessed with pirates. And this is a thick book too. I think there's a novella out for this, and book 2 is coming out hopefully later this year. I don't know. I'm stalking this author's page as well because this book sounds amazing. In the package that she sent, I don't know if you could see that. It says if Game of Thrones was set in ancient Greece, but also pirates, fated mates, reincarnated lovers, slow burn romance, gods, prophecies, monsters, battles, and it's steamy. I'm in. I am in for this. And then on top of it, look at this character art. Look how gorgeous this is. I would show you the back, but it's very inappropriate. But it's delicious. I can't wait. Another series that we will be picking up this month, The Whole Time series by Maisie Wren. This is an indie author, and it is a dark romance series. I haven't read too much of it yet, but the vibes I was getting for it was kind of Ravenhood, but it's definitely not Ravenhood because I don't know. I don't really know if you can compare like anything to the Ravenhood trilogy, and that's just I'm obsessed with the Ravenhood trilogy. So but it did give me those kind of vibes where you have like the bad boys in this secret society type of thing, and then a very privileged girl that comes from a very wealthy family who owns a lot of the stuff in town. And I don't know how I feel about it yet. I think it's good, but because it's similar to me, to what the Ravenhood trilogy kind of vibes were. It's taken me a second to get into it, but it is still interesting. So we shall see how that goes. And I am buddy reading that with Lillian and a bunch of other girls. She put it together. And she does this really nice thing where she highlights one indie author a month. And I just love that idea. I love it. We're joining in on that with her. Silver Elite by Danny Francis. I think it's actually out this week. I don't have the physical book yet. However, I am extremely, extremely excited to start this. I have heard nothing but good things on book from all of the ARC readers. I have heard it is Hunger Games for adults. And let me just say, I was a Hunger Games fan. I was obsessed when I was younger. That is one of the series besides Harry Potter that really just like sucked me in. All I heard was dystopian fantasy romance with some sci-fi in it and enemies to lovers. And that sounds like such a good time. That should be delivered this week. I have it pre-ordered at Barnes & Noble, and I'm pretty sure we are getting to that book this month. And last but not least, The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillett comes out this month. I don't know if I'm going to get to that book yet. I do have my Fairy Loot version coming, which I believe it's in the adult Fairy Loot box. I could be mistaken, but I believe that's what it is. So I don't know if I'll read it this month. or next month, or if I'll just end up grabbing a Barnes and Noble copy as well. But if it's not on my TBR for this month, it will definitely be on next month because that has been one of my highly anticipated reads for this year. So those are I can't remember if it was 8 or 9 books on my TBR for May that I have been so excited to read. I just haven't put them on a TBR for some reason because they didn't fit my prompts. So we will be mood reading our way through May, and I will do a reading vlog for some of the more popular ones so you can see my reactions to those. Have you read any of these books? If you have, let me know what you thought of them. What is your most anticipated read for the month of May? Is it something releasing this month, or is it a book that you just have been so excited to read? Thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you are new, hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. I would really appreciate it. I hope you had a great time, and I will see you in the next one.